madness of the 4-game week Festive Frenzy is over, and FPL managers around the globe are left dealing with the aftermath. And of course I took a break from our story during this hectic period, but like the great Arnold Schwarzenegger, I promised I'll be back. And what a story we have for you today. You see, for some, the Festive Frenzy is their end of days, the part of the season where they realise their chances of glory are gone, and unable to stay hungry, they activate their escape plan and disengage from the game.
I know now why you cry, but it's something I can never do.
For others though, the moment the Iceman cometh is where they take command over their season, with the intensity of the situation pumping iron through their veins, as their overall rank climbing hits turbo time. And for my lords, we entered the period top of the world's greatest mini-league, and we were just outside the top 50k, but a true FPL Judgment Day was upon us, and the game was blown wide open as Bukayo Saka's injury forced managers into a scavenger hunt for solutions. And I'll be honest with you, like I always am, I felt I'd suffered a raw deal when my replacement, Bruno Fernandes, got overcome by that red heat and brought in -2 points. However, that game week was the only one of the 4 in which I dropped in the rankings, as my lords recovered from that setback to jingle all the way up to just outside the top 17k. And with 3 transfers in the bank, I have a strong platform from which to attack, and I'm gonna tell you all exactly how I'm going to do that later in the video. I'm gonna tell all of my wonderful viewers exactly how to terminate your rivals in the coming game weeks, because I want all my subscribers to beat those AI androids, and for me to have a chance to hunt down that world number 1, I need the gentleman to push me right to my limit. But before we change the future, we must understand how we got here. And while I'm not going to bore you with a total recall of these last 4 game weeks, you will remember that we entered them with Dan the Dragon as my closest rival in the League of Gentlemen, having closed the gap to just 13 points, as he threatened to soar right past me. My lords had to get to the chopper to keep our crucial momentum, and as he flew up behind, we trapped him in our Skynet, outscoring him by 35 points over the last 2 game weeks to extend my advantage to a massive 52 points. However, it has not all been a bed of roses, and indeed I have made several mistakes over the Festive Frenzy, ones that threatened to sabotage my entire season. I took a hit to bring in Ismail Assara and Anthony Gordon, and while Newcastle's running man has ticked over with the points, the signing of Sarah's cost me big time. Not only did Dibbling score in the week I sold him, but also Nicholas Jackson was benched. And it's easy to allow hindsight to tear you apart in this game, but if I'd used that hit to replace Jackson with the Predator Chris Wood, I'd have been 17 points better off and 10,000 places closer to the world number 1. Furthermore, my choice of Softan Sanchez in goal continues to cost me, with even his clean sheet in game week 17 spoiled by being benched 2 game weeks later. Indeed, since signing Sanchez on my game week 10 wildcard, Matt Sells and Jordan Pickford, both players I strongly considered, have outscored him by 23 and 27 points respectively, and they don't even get benched for the easier games. If I'd signed the right goalie on my wildcard, and if I'd got Wood instead of Sarr 2 game weeks ago, then I'd be at least 40 points better off and in the top 2,000 in the world. Oh, how seasons can swing on such seemingly innocuous choices. Still, I must apply the eraser to these wistful wonderings of what might have been, because what transpired was indeed very good. I hit 90 points in game week 19. I blew the doors off the 100 club in game week 17. I was the League of Gentlemen's manager of the month for December. I managed to get a green arrow in game week 20 despite having no Nottingham Forest or Brian Umbumo. Furthermore, when it comes to the player choices, all those algorithm acolytes recommended Robinson in the defence, but my rotation of Kinky Kirkes and Lewis Hall Mighty, well, they outscored him by a colossal 35 points over the last 4 game weeks, showing that the rise of the machines will never be enough to overcome the gentlemanly way.
What is best in life? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of your women.
And I even gained an extra 6 points by deploying the lesser seen 4 at the back, which gave me a bonus Kirkes clean sheet, having demonstrated championship cojones by making the decision to bench Rodgers the game week between his 2 huge hauls. People said I was crazy to do it, but in an insane world it was the sanest choice. And though this video is so far focused only on my outcomes, it's not as if the rest of the gentlemen are merely collateral damage in my nightmare narrative. Though they may see me as Conan the Barbarian, a destroyer decimating their chances of claiming the crown, they are the reason I am performing as well as I am.
You son of a bitch.
There are no expendables in this exposition, because without the gentleman, there is no chance of the FPL Nightmare having its dream conclusion. But when I do look at the outcome of the Festive Frenzy up on the world's greatest mini-league, I start to worry you'll think my assertions of the Advent importance were nothing more than true lies designed to build some drama, because 5 of the bottom 6 remain exactly the same, with the only news of note being Slick Rick plummeting from 27th to join them, and Metal Mark rising 4 places from second bottom. We spoke last time about the wily veterans Grinchy Vop, Deadly Daz, Jockin Jeeves and Terminator Triss all jockeying for position outside the top half, and they all continue to do so, with the only other notable change behind them and above the basement dwellers being Dodger Rogers climbing 4 places this past game week, and he only managed that with a solid 25-point bench boost. In the top half it gets a little bit more interesting, and while King Ding, Ginger Ben and Private Parvesh continue to meander at the midpoint of the table, Big Steve the Butcher rose 8 places to 15th, and Mac Daddy McMahon climbed all the way to 13th amid the frenzy, while John Go Karting dropped 7 places to 19th. In the top 10 the story is much the same, with Professor Story and Uncaged Page the only new entrants over the 4 game week spell, and the only notable difference outside the top 3 being the Rough Rider hitting 93 points in game week 20 to climb 4 places up to 4th position. The top 3, well again that remains the same, with the Dragon and Gladiator Glenn, the Batman and Robin chasing down their villain reveling in his infamy, and though they are desperate for this Joker to wilt in the heat of battle, I'm as ice cold as Mr. Freeze, and they are not sending me to the cooler.
I'm afraid Their bad condition has left me cold to your pleas of mercy.
So the Festive Frenzy ends with me 52 points clear of Dan the Dragon, and with GW20 seeing 22 massive points slashed off the world number one's advantage, leaving me only 135 points adrift, the closest I have been for quite some time. And you may think 135 points is too big a distance to cover, but in game week 10 I was 65 points behind Gladiator Glenn, and now I'm 69 points ahead, which is a 134 point swing in just 11 game weeks. All I need to do is what I've already done, and I've got a free hit in hand, and there's the double game weeks and the ass man to come. And while you may think I'm setting myself up for a dark fate, I choose to believe this is in fact the genesis of the greatest glory, because yes, there's a lot of ground to make up, but I eat green arrows for breakfast, and right now I'm very hungry.
Say breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
So you ask, how are we going to do it? How do we ensure that the second half of our season makes the first half look like Danny DeVito in comparison? Well, that, my friends, is easy. All we need are these three simple things. The first is patience. And this is by far the simplest, because you don't have to do a single goddamn thing. Just stop overreacting to the game week just gone and the game week to come. Give the players you've got a chance to get you the points. The best way to do it is this. When you look at a signing, ask yourself this: if they're blank this game week and someone else goes big, will I still want this player? And if the answer is no, then just don't bring them in. It's not hard. I'd even go one further and say every signing you make from now should be one you are happy to keep until at least game week 30, because game week 30 is around the best time to wildcard. So get the players to go the distance and let them work their magic, just like I did with Kirkes when all those big name content creators said the Fulham fullbacks were essential. The second tip is again very simple, because it involves 2 minutes of effort and then doing absolutely nothing. All you need to do to improve your performance is to stop going on the official FPL website. And what I mean by this is that when that deadline goes and the game becomes active, go on the website just once. Spend just 2 minutes to set your team up for the next game week, and then avoid the official site and the app until the following deadline day. If you want to check your team's score, then do what all the best FPL managers do and use livefpl.net to see how you're getting on. You've got your team, you've got your mini league, you've got up to the minute scores and bonus points. What more do you want? You don't need that official site when all their information is wrong anyway, and the temptation to tinker will torment you. If you must fart around with transfers, then use FPL.team, and then at least you'll be able to see how they rotate every subsequent game week. Just make sure to stay off that official site until it's time to make your moves, and you'll find that the previous game week has faded in your mind and you can make clearer choices. Unlike all those hundreds and thousands of your rivals who think games against Man City and Liverpool make Brian Mbeumo so must have that they've gone and signed him up a week before the deadline when there's still cup matches to be played. And the final tip is obvious. You simply have to have a master plan. If you spend just 1 hour looking beyond game week 22, your entire season will be improved. 1 hour to pick a dream signing for all the remaining game weeks. That's all, and it may even only take 10 minutes. You might not end up signing them. Form, injury and suspensions might make them unviable. Someone else might emerge from nowhere. But if you have that signing in mind, then you will climb the ranks, I promise you that. And the best bit is you don't even need to do it for the rest of the season. If you know that you're going to hit that wildcard button around game week 30, just plan up until then and then reassess the rest later on. And if even that small thing is too much effort for you, then just read all about FPL.com's ultimate game week guide on deadline day and see what they think. Because that website is the best at what they do. They even give you a wildcard guide with about 5 different variations every week for absolutely nothing. However, I strongly recommend formulating your own ideas first, because if you consume FPL content before your thoughts are clear, you will be easily swayed by those algorithm androids and the hive mind. All those people who are incentivized by your failure. But if you know what you think is best beforehand, then your mind isn't so easily corrupted, and that strengthens your convictions and gives you the upper hand. Oh, but you're a content creator too. How on earth is disengaging this much going to help? I'm not saying to disengage, I'm saying to engage differently. I can't speak for the subscription sites out there because I've never paid for any of them. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm just being honest with you like I always am. The only websites I've ever needed are livefpl.net, FPL.team and allaboutfpl.com. They're my go-tos, and I'm 17.2k in the world with 3 transfers in the bank. That's where I'm at. How are all the algorithm acolytes getting on? Because I think I'm out here kicking all their asses. The Sherlock Holmes to their kindergarten cops.
So who are you, man? Shit!
I'm the party pooper.
So there it is, the secrets to my success. Patience, disengagement and the master plan. It isn't rocket science, but it's turned me into the Terminator of the algorithm acolytes. And now you too can become an unstoppable FPL machine. And I know what you're thinking. This guy's a couple cans short of a 6-pack to think he can win this blasted game. And that's no problemo. I'll just keep on doing what I do, and I'll keep the faith that my dreams will come true. Because though the unknown future rolls towards us, I face it for the first time with a sense of hope. A hope that people will fight back against the machines and play with the heart. A hope that those special people watching this video will find a way to improve their experience. And I hope that this year's FPL World Champion will be the uncontent creator, the man who called his shot for all the world to see. And if this season is the last stand, if it ends with me saying hasta la vista baby to my reputation, well then god damn it, I'm gonna feel alive in the meantime, and I'm gonna try my best to be remembered as the last action hero. And I hope to make you feel the same way about your own game, and I hope to make you take those big balls calls and dare to dream. And I know you think what I talk about is impossible, but I'm here to tell you that the future's not set. There's no fate but what we make for ourselves. And so ahead of game week 21, let me say may all your transfers be successes, may all your arrows be green, and may those FPL gods be in your favour. Come with me if you want to live by hitting that subscribe button, and we will see you next time.
It's an FPL Nightmare, got me pulling out my hair. I'm the greatest football manager to ever grace the old armchair. But the FPL gods hate me, and no one seems to care that my points are only average, and my ranking is not fair.